TikTok, friends. We are only 2 episodes remaining in maybe the greatest show ever made of all time. Just kidding, I love it a lot. I'm Ryan Leopolis, and this is another new episode of the Fake Nerds Watch, where we talk about Watchmen, Episode 7, and Almost Religious Awe. I'm joined by my friends, as always, Ben Magnet,
hello,
Sparks Witty, and goodness gracious, you guys, I cannot wait to talk about this episode.
I'm in an almost religious awe of the show.
I thought last week's episode was like 10 out of 10 awesome, and then this one's like, hold my blue beer.
Yeah. You best believe it's like, hold my beer, bitches.
Many reveals, many twists and turns.
Just the whole thing is a twisting, turning. I don't want to say mess because it's not a mess.
It's a beautiful pretzel.
Yeah, it's just a twisting and turning roller coaster of emotion. It's like that scene from Anchorman where he's like, I'm in a glass case of emotion.
We are Ron Burgundy on the moon right now. That's
my God.
So Angela's going through some stuff, you guys.
She's going through some pretty heavy shit.
She is not only experiencing the past of her grandfather because she overdosed on his drugs.
Nostalgia.
She's also experiencing her own memories at the same time. So throughout this episode, she keeps experiencing past memories, and that's kind of the lens of the episode.
Essentially, her nostalgia trip ain't over just yet.
Yeah, which I kind of didn't think that's what this episode would be, and I'm actually very glad. Like, we got so much into her character. And about other characters as well.
I'm also glad we saw a lot of Angela's memories.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the episode opens with her memory in Vietnam and Saigon.
Yeah.
The episode opens with newsreel about Vietnam.
Yeah,
which was
right.
incredible.
Oh,
which is part of her memory.
Not just newsreel, a VHS from 1987 newsreel.
Oh, right.
Of Dr. Manhattan.
Oh, yeah.
And how there's this 12-hour-long special about Dr. Manhattan.
And you see him in Vietnam being Big Blue Boy blowing up buildings, and I'm like, wow, they really did it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's super silly. It's like so silly.
And she's walking around, she's like flipping through a VHS carousel to try to get a tape.
It's so interesting to have seen Zack Snyder's film.
Yeah.
Which was frame for frame.
Yeah.
Almost.
It looks like Watchmen.
Of Dr. Manhattan in Vietnam, and like the way he handled it, and then this helicopter type shot of giant Dr. Manhattan
like an
over
overhead
Vietnam,
shot.
and I'm like, oh, this feels way more uncomfortable and real.
The thing about the helicopter shot is you see a bunch of bombs exploding, and then you see Dr. Manhattan.
It's more.
It
subtle.
feels well up to that point. It all feels like real newsreel because like
up to that
point it is
Yeah.
Footage from everything that it's showing, and then Dr. Manhattan's big body walking through Vietnam, and you're like,
one thing I have to give it to a huge credit to these filmmakers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling them filmmakers. I know
it's a team.
I know it's a TV show, but everyone on this team, they never show the head.
Yeah.
They never show his face unless it's like because there's a comic book image of a stand holding a television set for this news special, for this 12-hour news special on some day that's apparently celebrated in Vietnam.
It's Vietnam Victory, VVN, Vietnam Victory, or VVD.
Yeah, VVD, Vietnam. I guess
Vietnam Victory Day,
or Victory in Vietnam Day, whatever. How the hell you say it?
Yeah.
But there's this huge news special going on, and there's like Dr. Manhattan stuff everywhere in Vietnam, and also in
he's the liberator of the 51st state.
Yeah.
Your oppressors are never seen as oppressors; they're seen as liberators. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bringing up Zack Snyder's Watchmen, he plays operatic music when Dr. Manhattan is murdering these people, and it's from an undershot of you see Dr. Manhattan looking like a god, and it is the exact opposite in this, where you see explosions, and it's an overhead shot of him just blowing shit up as it zooms out, and it's like it is so much more uncomfortable, and that's how it's supposed to feel. It's not supposed to be a celebration of his power.
Right.
This dude's murdering a nation.
Yeah, and you also see, Angela, she gets the videotape. The guy behind the counter is like, dude, your parents are not going to let you watch this.
Yeah.
And find out the name of the tape is Sister Night.
Yes, and she's looking at the carousel of movies, and then we all notice it. It's Sister Night, and it's like the nun with the mother effing guns.
Yep.
And we're like, it's nothing to do with being raised in an orphanage. It's this awesome movie.
She just wants to watch a movie.
Yeah.
It's a 70s blaxploitation piece.
And we got animals doing stuff.
Yeah.
So Angela is in Vietnam with her parents, her dad was
a captain in the military.
Yes, and her mom and dad are out there, and the Vietnam celebration is happening with Dr. Manhattan.
Well, also
everywhere.
she walks by a puppeteer who's puppeteering like a bunch of Viet Cong soldiers running from Dr. Manhattan, who's shooting laser beams out of his hands.
A ton of Dr. Manhattan imagery
all
across like, all these different things, big puppet things, and
like people wearing masks,
flags with his symbol,
with the hydrogen symbol on it. Just everything is like, hey, we're celebrating Dr. Manhattan. I'm like, ooh, I actually had a feeling that like the second we saw the puppeteer, I'm like, you're gonna do something bad.
Yeah, he's covered in scars, and he doesn't seem to be happy doing this puppet show. So I'm like, this guy's up to something.
Like, something is going to... I had a feeling it was going to be a suicide bomb attempt.
Yeah.
There's an uncomfortable framing of white people celebrating and Vietnamese people serving
100%
as they are celebrating. And that's very present.
There's a bunch of obviously Americans just having a grand old time. And there's, of course, the Vietnamese who are just, like, giving everyone, like...
Who are Americans now.
Who are now Americans, but they're just staring at... Just giving the look of death. Like, how dare you?
So, Angela goes up to her parents, and the mom immediately knows. She's like, what movie did you pick this time? And she's like, Night Sister! And she's like, oh, hell no.
She's like, oh, what did we tell
you? I knew it!
Well, remember, they told her, is like, hey... You can't watch this movie. They're like, oh, you kept trying to pick this movie, but you can't watch it.
And the reasoning is because her dad doesn't like masked people. I wonder why. And he's like, people in masks you should be afraid of them.
Well, not only that, it keeps flashing back to the last episode.
It's always intercut with stuff from Will's timeline as well.
Yeah, like it's the scene where Will was not furiously, but like hurriedly. Frantically, that's the word I was looking for. Frantically trying to wipe the makeup off of his...
It's not that yet.
It's not
That's
that yet?
later.
Oh, okay.
That's later when the grandma, June, explains it.
Right.
In this moment, it's all the flashes of Will donning the hood and becoming Hooded Justice.
You're right.
And we don't need to be specific, but like there's a lot of Will's stuff being intercut as it thematically fits or directly connotates to something happening in either Angela's memory or in her present day. And that happens a lot throughout the episode, and it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, the lingering effects of the nostalgia are apparent in the whole episode.
Yep.
Some of the transitions of like, because I'll just mention it now because we're talking about that, and I don't want to delve into that too much because there's so many things that happen. But the one when she identifies the guy and they pull the hood back over him and it immediately cuts to a black and white shot of the hood coming over Hooded Justice for that moment. And then he turns and like the way they frame those shots, that's really cool.
There's a lot of really good stuff like that. Angela sees this puppeteer guy.
Who's that guy she identifies later?
But like backpack to another dude on a bicycle. And it's just like the music kind of gets silent. It's I don't know what the effect is called, but all the ambient sound around, like the people, like the hustle and bustle of the city, goes dark, and
like
all you hear is the music. Or
she
it goes
just
silent,
focuses.
and you only
it's like it focuses.
If you focus on Angela, you focus on the backpack, you focus
on
her
the
parents.
sound of the bike.
You focus on her parents, and then it goes through that a few times, and then finally the guy with the backpack runs to a jeep full of American soldiers
while intercutting the tragedy from 1920.
While intercutting from the tragedy from 1920. Or 1921, and the guy in Vietnamese yells "Death to the invaders!" Jumps in the jeep, boom! Suicide bomber.
Angela's parents are definitely killed. She's sent flying, and I think isn't that what wakes her up?
That's what wakes her. She's on the floor. She's on the floor.
And then Lady True's like, "How'd you fall again? Why does this keep happening?" And Angela has apparently gone through the same motions of what's going on, how did I get here, and Lady True's like,
times.
I've done this 5 times, and I'm going to keep explaining it to you because I guess I'm a nice person or something. But yeah, she's getting a treatment from a host, and it has to be like a living host, and it's connected through a rope going all across the complex. And
we get it explained to us in a fun little info video.
She gets a needle injection, basically like a video game tutorial about like what's about to happen to her. Like
it is so weird, but it's so funny.
Your brain waves are being blocked by the nostalgia.
So you took somebody else's nostalgia.
Bad idea.
No, you know what that reminded me of a little bit? That detention video that Captain America did in Spider-Man Homecoming. He's like, so you got yourself a detention.
So you OD on nostalgia. But it's like, it's gonna throw some like brain juice and it's gonna fix your shit. But the thing is like, it needs to connect to a host. So like, it's connected to my grandfather because like we're compatible, right? And she's just like, yeah, sure, that's whatever. We find out later that's not true.
A natural host.
A natural host, yes. So then, what do we go from here?
So she sees that info video, and then she comes out of it, and, and that's when she learns that she's been getting it all cleaned out of her system for about 2 days.
Oh yeah, she's been out for 2 days. Yeah,
and
she's been rambling in her sleep.
And she's lying to Lady True about what's knocked her out and like brought her to the floor and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And she wants to talk to her grandfather very badly.
Yes.
Yeah, and Lady True's like, that's not a good idea. You shouldn't do that. And Angela's just not having this shit. Yeah. She's like, I don't care. Let me talk to my grandpa.
Is this around when Beyond comes in?
This is when it's when Cal is shown driving up, and
they won't let him in,
and they won't let him in, and so a hologram of Beyond tells him, this is really bad timing. We're really close to launching the Millennium Clock because we find out we're 12 hours away.
Yes. Man, we're really close to finding out what that thing's gonna do.
Yep.
But yeah, Beyond's like, yeah, you can't come in by, and Cal's just like, what?
And then Cal's like, where's Blake? And Blake and Lori, she's in her car listening to recorded tape of Angela, because Angela was talking the whole time in her sleep in her like nostalgia trip.
She spilled every possible bean that she could.
Yes.
Man. She really condemned herself and Will. Yeah. But now, like we said last week, like now everyone knows that Will's headed justice. He killed Judd.
Well, she obviously didn't spill every possible bean she could have.
Okay, maybe not every bean. No, true.
Yeah.
This most sacred blue bean. That's true. Yeah. Do we go to Lori now?
Lori. She's getting called by Petey. While she's there, and that's him checking in on Wade.
I'm so happy.
And all of the 7th Cavalry dudes are dead.
Yeah. So they did go to attack Wade, which is interesting.
But one of them's missing his mask.
And I didn't catch this until the end when Spark said one of them's missing a mask.
Katie did.
Somebody who watched it with us. And then we find out maybe Wade's infiltrated them.
Wade has probably infiltrated the 7th Cavalry.
Oh, man.
The masks.
He's going to save the day. Watch.
So Petey's just hanging out there, and Lori says she's going to meet him. So Petey's going to be on this. Because Lori said she was coming there, and Lori's like, I just got to do this thing first. And she's talking to Mrs. Crawford.
Yeah, Judd's wife. Judd's wife.
Yeah.
So after
Judd's widow.
Judd's widow, I think this is where I want to say we cut back to a whole bunch of stuff happened in this episode.
Is this
much happened in this episode?
Cut backs to
we don't cut back. We follow into the room.
Do we? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so
she talks to her, and she says, "So I know who killed your husband.
Yeah.
It was Will Reeves. Here's who he was. He was Hooded Justice.
Yep.
He was a black man.
He was a black
Holy
man.
Crap.
And he thinks your husband was a racist Cyclops. And
because Cyclops what if Cyclops is the same thing as 7th Cavalry?
Yep.
And so Mrs. Crawford is like, well, I mean, that was the original plan.
Well, no,
was like the Joe King making Joe King president, and then it's like, then presidents just seem so small.
Yeah, because
small potatoes.
Because Lori is basically like explaining the plan, and we don't think his wife is in on it, right? We're still convinced Judd might be a good guy and stuff like this, but she's like, yeah, you're gonna make Joe King president and all that stuff, and then the wife's like, think bigger.
Once she started saying, what if blank is the same as blank, what if Cyclops and blah blah. Once Lori started saying that, I'm like, okay, so she suspects Judd's wife is in on it, and Judd was in on it, and that's why she's doing this. I didn't expect that she would just be like, yeah, okay.
Like when she's
which is where the good writing of the show is, because it does the thing you're not looking for it to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was expecting her to be like, cavalry? Why are she talking about this? And then she revealed that Judd had a white supremacist, like a Ku Klux Klan coat in his closet, but her to be like, well, that was the original idea, but then we're like, oh, that's small potatoes, and Lori's like,
excuse me?
What?
Yeah.
And then Mrs. Crawford is all like, oh, what, was I supposed to reveal my plan?
No, she says, isn't that why you're doing this? So that I would confess? Yeah. I'm sorry, you were just going on and on.
I got bored.
She's trying to get the...
She grabs... I noticed it's in my phone, but she grabs Romano and goes, click, wait, click, 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 click. And Laura's like, the frack are you doing? And it drops down.
God darn it, Lori. She had so much time.
Lori is so smart. Like, after the trap didn't initially fall, after it just kind of went bum, why wouldn't you get out of the chair? Like, you're not that old, woman. Come on, you are a superhero.
But if you think about it, you're like, what are you doing? Because if I was in her situation, I would probably be like, what the...
Ben, if this couch right now halfway sunk into the floor, you wouldn't get up?
Oh yeah, I get it.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't think it sunk halfway in the floor. I thought it just went completely over.
It dropped.
It dropped, and then she was still in the chair. Like, what's going on? I'm like, I would have immediately stood up. Like,
I wouldn't have even like given it more than 3 button pushes. She's clearly trying to do something to her after she just admitted she was in on the plan that Lori suspected her of.
Yeah.
If Lori had no suspicions when she went into it, then I'd be like, I can kind of give her benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But I'm like, come on. Lori was like in hysterics laughing, and Angela snuck up on her and she whipped around her gun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't buy this moment. I'm like, don't have the like remote mess up if you're not going to let Lori get out of the chair.
Yeah, like when Angela confessed in the cop's place, like Lori was out there in a half a second. Like I think like she's suspicious of this person being evil, and she clearly is evil. So like this is the one
okay
time.
if she gets thrown, but like.
Make it happen all at once.
Why would you be waiting if the remote is clearly malfunctioning?
Yeah, this is the one thing in like this whole show where I'm like, why did they choose that to do that? Yeah. I don't get it. But she needed to get captured, but they could have done it in an easier way, I think.
I agree.
But but yeah, so then let's go back to Angela talking to Beyond. And we learned some stuff about Beyond later that's a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
But Beyond is doing like a psychological like new and improved Rorschach test.
She's doing a psych eval on Angela. Yep. And Angela's like, is this part of my treatment? And Beyond's like, no, this is for my dissertation. I'm like, what?
And Beyond is like clearly very young. Like she said, like I have a kid that's almost as old as you, so like she must be like 13, 14, 15 years old. That's like I thought she was like
she's young.
I thought she was like 20. Like no, that girl's like a teenager. Oh my gosh. So Beyond is doing this dissertation on what was it? Do you remember? It was like
it was
like social class norms and like racism.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah. She's very smart. But what does she say?
She's asking her why.
Why would you become a cop?
Is it hard to lie to them?
Yes. Yeah.
It's for their protection. Isn't it for your protection?
Yes. Being a vigilante.
Why would if you care about them? Why would you be a cop?
Yeah.
And that triggers her into a memory about why she became a cop.
Yes.
And that was the moment when she identified the puppeteer.
Yeah.
And said that she wanted to listen to him being killed.
That's intense. But also shows that like that lady cop was like, I see a spark in you, girl. Here's my badge. Come find me when you're older. Yeah. And clearly she does. Yeah. I can't wait to see that lady but older. That'll be fun. Because we're definitely gonna get more flashbacks in Vietnam, baby.
Oh yeah.
So then where do we go from here? Is it the trial?
When she comes back, she's talking to Beyond. And Beyond says, "Where did you go just now? Was it your memory or his?" And she says it was mine. Mm-hmm. She's like, "I have dreams about being an old woman.
Oh,
it
God.
hurts."
Oh yeah. So this is where I was like,
and she asked her if it hurts, and she's like, "Yeah, it hurts too."
Uh-huh.
And what so far people are on Twitter are calling the best transition in television. Angela's eyes turn to stained glass windows of a church or a courtroom, and then
it was the courtroom. Yeah,
it was the courtroom, and then the camera pans down.
The Aussie transition.
Hear ye!
Before we go there, though, I do think it's interesting. Just like what it does to Angela to have been this child who grew up with so much Dr. Manhattan imagery surrounding her.
Oh,
she's literally painting dolls of him for forced labor.
Oh no, this might be okay. So real quick before. Oh no, we'll talk about it when.
Yes, I just wanted to bring it up because it happened there. We see her painting a Dr. Manhattan doll.
That's actually that. Oh man, that make me. Dr. Manhattan even grosser now that I think about it.
Yes,
oh man,
I agree.
Oh man,
I agree.
I didn't even think about that aspect.
I agree. That's why I wanted to mention it. Okay, trial.
Hear ye! This scene is incredible. It is all Crookshanks and Mr. Phillips.
It's all.
It's been taking a year.
Yeah, 3 actors are in this room.
It's so good. And there's 100 people in the room, but there's 3 actors.
Yes, there's 100 or so people in the room, but there are only 3 actors. The actor playing Mr. Phillips, the actor playing Miss Crookshanks. And of course, Jeremy Irons as Adrian Weiss / Ozymandias,
who has the best defense line maybe of all time. I rest my case.
The defense rests.
Defense rests after a rip roar and fart.
Yep.
But Miss Crookshanks gives a truly impassioned speech about how this man is awful and he killed 3 million.
Has he ever shown remorse?
Yeah, he's never apologized.
Has he ever shown any sense of guilt?
We have one, and this makes me now think maybe Dr. Manhattan is more involved than I thought.
Right.
Because, like, our master said the one thing, never leave. You know, he gave us life, all this stuff, and, like, you know what? Vite might have murdered people, he might have done all this stuff, but he broke the rule, we should never leave. And he's been hurling our bodies into space for years. And she's like, I rest my case! And he just farts.
Yeah, not only that, she's all, Well, the thing that I found like, damn, this trial's been going on for a year because it's like day 365 of the people.
It's always a year later,
right?
Yeah.
Is it? So this is it year 7?
This is year 7.
Year 7, man. Gosh.
So next episode we'll be caught up to the present.
I'm starting to think more and more. Maybe it's Ozzy who landed on the farm.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that.
Yeah. What else would it be?
Right.
Because we know the plot with the 7th Cavalry involves Dr. Manhattan, so I don't think he would land there. I think he still would have doing... Oh, wait. No, what am I talking about? I know where Dr. Manhattan is.
Yeah.
No, I keep forgetting.
Right, yeah. I know. It's a change.
Yeah, it's a twist. Because that makes me like... So, everything is manufactured about him, like, currently being on Mars and all that stuff's fake. Like, all the news is fake.
Yeah,
like,
we'll get to the Dr. Manhattan stuff. But yeah, I do... I also am starting to think that Dr. Manhattan did leave Ozzy there. Yeah. But I'm also like... Still 8 years ago. Why would he do it 8 years ago?
Yeah, especially because he's kind of been preoccupied doing something else.
And we don't know when they got together, when the amnesia kicked in.
Yeah, it's definitely been more than 8 years though.
We don't know that. We don't know. I guess you're right. All we know is that 3 years ago in Oklahoma they were there. Yeah. And Angela was an out and out cop.
That's true.
That's all we know for sure. We do not know when she got back to Tulsa from Saigon.
We also, in the next episode preview, we do see her in Saigon, and she is an adult.
And she's a cop.
And she's a cop. So
we don't know how old she is.
She doesn't look 20, I'll say that. She definitely looks like she's an adult at this point.
Yeah, so it could have been at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Could have been... It could have been part of, like, maybe Dr. Manhattan felt that if Adrian Veidt was on Earth and he gave himself amnesia, Adrian would figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maybe he didn't want to leave that to chance. He didn't want to be defenseless and without his own memories and have Ozymandias out there looking.
Because he is the smartest man in the world and he could figure it out. That's actually, I think that's it. I think that might be it.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Because he's left him alone up to this point.
Yeah.
If he's deciding to make himself, in some sense, defenseless.
Also back on Earth,
he wouldn't want Ozzy to know.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So that might be why he took him there.
I like that, yeah.
I do think it probably was Dr. Manhattan. But it's still...
It's still iffy. It's still iffy. Ozzy, he's found guilty, and he starts crying.
Mighty convenient that it would be Lady True who took over, though, and is also now trying to protect him. I'm like, we'll have to see.
Yeah. Well, also, I have to, like, the game warden's like, hey, he goes to the jury and says, I'm sorry, a fair trial is jury is determined by a jury of your peers. You're not his peer. And then he brings a whole swarm of, like, a whole thing of pigs in, then he's like, he picks up a little piglet and goes, what is he? Oh, guilty! And they all yell, guilty! Guilty! Guilty!
It's the shame of
it's like the shame from Game of Thrones.
And it makes him cry, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's real, because like...
That's remorse.
Yeah. He I wonder if he feels the shame. Or if he's crying just because, like, oh, I'm gonna probably die.
No, I think that this is the first time that anybody has actually, like... I don't think, because he's never been held to account for what he did.
That's true.
I think this is the first time anybody's, like, laid into him saying, you are guilty.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of angry voices saying that at him. And I think it's the first time that he's felt like that's actually hit him.
I can believe that.
I don't know that, like, he regrets... I don't know that he regrets it or anything, but that, like, he feels like for the first time...
His choices have
led to, like, people having such dislike of him, and he's like, if the world knew, this is how they treat me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do we go after the trial?
We go to...
Is this where we learn about Beyond?
I think this is...
I want to say because she's trying to...
No, I think this is when we rejoin Lori, and she's in the hold of Joe Keane.
In the 7th Cavalry Cyclops zone.
Yeah.
And Joe Keane just walks out, just like in his tux, just looking cool. He's like, "Hey, Lori, I'm not a white supremacist, I promise. But let me tell you, I'll be a white man in America."
Joe, I'm tired. Like, you want me to ask why I'm strapped to a chair,
why
you're trying to build this transport thing? I just want you to know, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. She's so done with superhero silliness. And she's like, I'm so done with the silliness. This is so bonkers. Why can't people just be people? But I
also love how he's like, oh, but I'm not a white supremacist. We're just trying to bring this country back to the way it was found. I was like, oh,
the balances are untipped.
It's so funny.
Like, that's what white supremacists say.
It's so funny because, like, in, like, comic books and, like action movies, like, the villain gives his monologue. And Laurie's like, listen, I don't want to hear your monologue. And he's like, well, listen, Laurie, you're going to listen to my monologue. And like it's just he's trying to be so charming and like everything like I promise I'm not racist, like I'm trying to help America. Like dude, like you're not fooling anyone.
No.
Lori doesn't care. She's like just shoot me. I don't care. Just shoot me please.
But the one line that does get me, and that when we all like go, oh shit, that's what they're building or that's what they're doing. Is he's like, it's hard to be a white man in America, and we're like, oh you racist prick, and he goes, so I'm gonna try and be a blue one. We're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of Lady True stuff, right? I don't think Lady True is actively working with the 7th Cavalry.
No, she almost flat out says that she isn't.
I do think...
I don't know why she'd be playing both sides.
I do think, though, she's allowing them to do this stuff, so she has a reason to do her plan to save the world.
Could be.
Like she knows that her stuff was stolen, but she's like, oh no, I can't do anything about it. And like, oh look, clearly these are bad guys. I need to stop them. You guys aren't going to be mad when I do my crazy worldwide plan. Mm-hmm. Almost like when Ozymandias in the original Watchmen has someone try to assassinate him to like shift the blame. She's like, oh well, they stole from me. Like, why would I help these guys?
Well,
I want to kill these guys.
Well, honestly, it's in many ways. They're giving her alien.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like, clearly these are the bad guys. I'm here to help. Like, they stole my technology. I'm here to correct the wrong that they did on me.
Right.
And I think that's very sinister.
Yeah.
Because, like, she might allow something really bad to happen. But also, I still don't know if she is, like, because she seems very, I want to save the world. I'm still not sure if I believe that idea. Like, I think she thinks she wants to save the world, but I think she still has ulterior motives. Do you disagree?
I think I do at this point.
Because we're so close to the end?
I think I do.
Okay.
I think
so she is a good person.
I think the fact that when we get to the scene later with her and Angela, she says, can we cut the effing bullshit and not dance around it? And she's still saying, I'm trying to... Yes, this is me trying to save humanity.
Okay.
I do think that it is guided by not great ideas, not necessarily of a better sense of, like, I don't think she wants to kill people, but, like, of a more... morally gray nature like Ozymandias.
Yeah, okay.
But I still do think that is her end goal, is like, I do want to fix racism.
Yeah.
I do think that's a problem.
Yeah.
I do think that I have a cure, in the sense of like what the Millennium Clock is going to do.
Yeah.
I think it is meant for that, and I think that is of good intention.
So their plan is to, the 7th Cavalry's plan is to capture Dr. Manhattan and steal his power to give to themselves, basically.
Yes. Essentially to give to Joe.
Get the Joe,
because Joe Keane Jr., he wants to become the new Dr. Manhattan, and Lady True is like, no, we are gonna destroy Dr. Manhattan because he shouldn't be around.
Is that what she said? Does she want to destroy Dr. Manhattan?
Either something about destroying Dr. Manhattan or someone...
She said they're going to capture and destroy Dr. Manhattan, and then they're going to become him.
Yeah, I don't think she wants to.
Which is later.
Yeah.
That's what Lady True says they're going to do.
But before that, we get Angela trying to knock on Will's door, and she's like, "Get hungry," and this is where we learn about Beyond. Which,
correct.
Holy shit!
So yeah,
she is a clone, just not a clone of herself.
So Lady True is talking to Angela, and like she's talking about nostalgia, and Angela's like, "So what are you feeding your daughter?" And Lady True is very matter of fact, I'm like, "Oh, she's not my daughter, she's my mother." And everyone was like, She's like, yeah.
Well, first she's like, oh, I'm feeding her memories.
I'm feeding her memories.
Yeah.
And we're like, she's not my daughter. That's my mom.
She's a clone of my mom.
And she's like, yeah, I want my family, I want my parents to see my legacy.
Soon I'll have my dad too.
Yeah, and I'm like, that is some shit. And she's like, she's slowly introducing the mom's memories. So by the time she's like an adult,
IV drips her at night.
That is some crazy shit, man. That's super sinister.
Who's her dad?
I don't think it matters. I just like.
I think it's just the intention of.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like,
I'm not just stopping here.
Yeah.
That's the intent.
I'm gonna recreate my parents as children, and then they'll see my success as I get old, and then I'll do the same for myself. Basically, it's I can see why she's a trillionaire. She seems pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, later when she's going before Angela, when she breaks into the room, like Lady True is giving her whole like speech of like, hey,
her presentation.
I graduated MIT, and then 4 years later I bought it.
Yeah. At 24, I like revolutionized medicine and nanotechnology, and I'm mega rich.
And also, I took a rocket to space with this special fusion reactor or something. And also, I failed at a few things, like nostalgia. That's my biggest failure. My bad.
I actually really appreciate like her being very open to the public about like, hey, I wanted to try this thing. You're gonna go deal some animal stuff.
Keep talking.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah, I tried nostalgia. I wanted to have people deal with their past so they can build themselves a future. But clearly, some people just can't handle it.
Yeah.
I would agree. I think that's a pretty radical drug to exist. And it's very easy for someone to overdose and get themselves...
And be like, oh, I just want to live in the past!
Yeah.
That's why they made it illegal.
That's why they made it illegal, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's funny that she still like talks about it like, yeah, man, we all make mistakes. I think that's pretty bold. Where do we? Is this where she meets the elephant?
Oh, you mean when we talk about the elephant in the room?
Ah, it's so good.
Quite literally.
So Angela can't get into Will's room. It requires like a hand identification thing. So she just busts it open.
Yep.
And the door opens. And
it's a giant elephant. I did not know it was an elephant.
So at first I saw like the feet, and I was like, they look like weird pods.
I thought it was like another squid.
I thought it was some weird alien thing, and then it's just an elephant laying down. And it's you said because elephants have really good memories.
I said elephants never forget.
Elephants never forget. So
never forget.
I guess I don't know where Will is. He's definitely not an elephant.
Yeah.
What do you? What's the treatment that she's getting? Like, how does that work?
I think it's still pumping her free of those memories.
Is it pumping it into the elephant? Like,
I don't know.
Is it like
I think it's like blood transfusion.
Like a dial, yeah.
Yeah, but with this nostalgia pumping around, maybe there's something specifically in elephants that's able to counteract the drug in some way. But you pointed out that her symbol is an elephant.
Yes, the Lady True.
Her logo.
Her logo is an elephant.
So that I think that implies that this whole time that's been a big part of like how she made her money.
Maybe like nostalgia has like elephant DNA or something because of the memory, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm bad with timelines. Where to go from here?
This is so when she rips it out, when she sees the elephant, she goes back and we see her memory of when June came to get her.
Yeah. Oh, sweet June.
Oh, this hurts.
Which is how she learned her family history in a sense, without Will in it.
June had a itty bitty heart attack, but she's totally fine. Don't worry about it.
So she reached out because she'd lost contact with her son after he went to fight in Vietnam, which she thought was stupid.
Yeah. And then she sends him a letter, and it comes back saying, "Oh, hey, your son's dead. Sorry."
Yeah.
So she's like, "Oh, well, apparently he has a wife and a daughter, and I would like to know them."
Like she dug
But the wife also died.
Yeah.
So
like she digs in.
Yep.
And like she starts some digging for herself. Angela's been living at an orphanage, and then she's like, "No, you're gonna come home with me to Tulsa."
Little orphan Annie, like the worst, like people working there, like treating her like shit.
Essentially, and then right when she gets in the car, her grandmother dies right there on the street.
Yeah.
But also another thing I want to point out is that as the camera's panning on Angela, it's going from like a bug's eye view to looking up at her. You see a mural of Dr. Manhattan, but someone graffitied murderer on it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Dr. Manhattan's kind of like Jesus, where he has like the saintly glow around his head, and the people of Vietnam are looking. It was like, oh, we're a liberator. But it's like, you killed so many of our people.
That's again the thing that like the Watchmen movie so fundamentally doesn't get. It glorifies Dr. Manhattan destroying this nation and making America like the state, like, and it totally misses the point that like this is horrible. This is a walking nuclear bomb, and it works for America. And I think this episode really helps cement the idea like, yo man, Dr. Manhattan is not always a good person.
He's not.
He's a tool. He's a tool of the government.
Yeah. Well, like, and something that's different in Watchmen is that there's not as much of the present ideology of maybe we shouldn't be in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And that is what happened in real life, and it's because before those things really took hold, Dr. Manhattan went and won the war.
Yeah.
And
in like a day.
And that changes everyone's perspectives on it. But there is a hint at like, June was one of those people who felt like we shouldn't be in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Didn't want her son to go over there. And.
Oh yeah,
what happened?
When June's having lunch with Angela, she's like, "Hey, what's in your bag?" And she pulls out the Night Sister thing
and the police badge, and she's like, "Of course you do."
And her entire family line is all cops, and like, of course you want to be a cop. That makes sense.
It kind of, you can see. I love the actress who plays June. She's not in the show very much.
Yeah.
But I love how she just like sighs and like gives that smile, like, "You're definitely related to my husband.
Yeah.
You're definitely part of my family. My son was an army. My husband was a cop. You're definitely part of that.
You're an A-bar.
You're an A-bar.
I was definitely curious about. We haven't really heard much about Angela talking about her grandma. So I was wondering what was going to happen to like have the disconnect.
We hadn't heard much about like why would she go back to Tulsa, and now we kind of at least have an idea of what put that in her brain.
Grandma
because
put the trajectory.
She grew up in Saigon and everything, and it's
Uh-huh.
like, okay, it was because she learned about her history in Tulsa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then poor Granny June.
June was so sweet.
And June just like, you see her like the second she closed the door,
she just walked
and
in,
you see it through the rearview mirror. She's clutching her chest a little bit, and then she just drops. I'm like, damn it!
Yeah, and then
just
Angela,
damn it!
And like Angela gets out of the car and like, oh, this is the third relative I had to watch die in like a week. That's great.
In front of my face. This is great.
Yeah.
Yay.
So then we cut to.
So she comes out of that, and she goes wandering through the complex of the clock.
Right.
We are 1 hour away.
She goes down to level
0.
We
were 1 hour away, like we're real close, and she was seeing the announcement ceremony from
her room.
Lady True before she went to the elephant thing, by
That's
the way.
right, that's right.
Where she was talking about her history and like being excited, and Angela's like, I'm not listening to this anymore.
Yeah, the nostalgia stuff,
so now... she goes into this room with a
level
globe,
0,
and
with
she
a
clicks
big giant globe on it.
She clicks on pieces of it, and we get the Manhattan booth calls.
Yes,
pop up.
So because Lady True,
Lori's.
because the True Industries makes all the booths, and she can just easily click on whatever city she wants and listen to them, and she finds Tulsa, and she finds Lori.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Angela doesn't really care about the superheroes, so like I don't know how much history she knows about Dr. Manhattan and Lori. But she sees Lori like, I can't believe I still do this. Like sometimes it's nice to pretend, and it really humanizes Lori for her a little bit.
And then Lady True shows up, and it's like,
you hungry?
No, she's like, isn't it? You would not believe what people ask for.
Oh,
they ask for Dr. Manhattan to come down and save their lives.
Yep.
And then that's when Lady True gets real. And I love this switch, and kind of like the switch in personality, where she's just looking at us like,
he's not listening.
Yeah, he's not listening.
Yeah.
He's not on Mars. He's here in Tulsa.
And Angela's like, what do you mean?
She's like, and then Lady True's like, let's stop effing around.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, he's disguised as a human, and Will Reeves came and told me what was going on because he wants to stop the 7th Cavalry because the 7th Cavalry is going to capture him and destroy him and become him.
Uh-huh.
And then Angela's like, all right, I'm tired of this shit. And she's leaving. She's rushing to leave. And she's like, didn't ask me who he was.
She's like, what?
I just told you Dr. Manhattan's disguised as a human being.
Yeah.
And you didn't ask me who he was. And that's when everybody sitting in the room is like, it's Cal.
Yeah.
Yeah. because there's a scene where Lady True's talking to Angela before, and she's like, it's really weird that your husband has full-blown...
There's almost never a case of real full-blown amnesia. Your husband has it after the accident.
I mean, in soap operas, yes, but not in real life.
You're right. That was the big clue.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have thought of Cal if that hadn't dropped in this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, I don't have a complaint about that reveal, but it would have been nice if that was in an earlier episode. So it's something we forgot about, that he has total amnesia or something, because then it could tie back into it. But we kind of learned everything about Cal in this episode, which again is fine. But it would have been cool to see a little through line from maybe the beginning that we forget about. But that's not really a complaint.
Their adopted son was building the same mansion Dr. Manhattan had built on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least we see built on Mars.
Oh, yes! Yes. Well, I mean, to be fair, that is just like a Lego construction set.
It's true, but I mean, like, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And then there's also when Cal's the person Angela says Will said he could disguise himself as a human. He was Dr. Manhattan in disguise, Cal says Dr. Manhattan can't do that.
Yeah.
And Angela's like, right.
Right. Because we're still in amnesia mode right now. My bad, I forgot.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Oh, man.
That's why Angela knew for a fact he wasn't Dr. Manhattan in disguise.
So Angela runs home.
She's rushing back.
Yeah, she drives past Pirate Jenny and Red Scare.
Yes, Pirate Jenny and Red Scare want to arrest her, and she's like, "Tell Red to move because I don't want to hurt him."
Yeah.
Hey, she wants you to move. Tell her to go F herself.
Tell her she's under arrest.
It's like, did you tell her that? Yeah, I told her.
That's good.
Well,
she runs through anyway because
she just blasts through. Yeah. But also, once she gets home, we see 7th Cavalry members in a pickup truck spying on her.
Yep.
So, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we get the scene with Cal.
Poor Cal.
Where she's grabbing a hammer and she says, "Tell him he has to come out of the tunnel."
And that the second she said that, I'm like, oh my god.
She knew this whole time.
Yeah, everything. Yeah. Everything was like...
Everything slowly slipping into place.
This has got to be one of the best reveals I have seen.
And oh my god, what if she was just crazy?
Yeah, what if she's just crazy?
She's talking to Cal, and Cal's like,
honey, what are you talking about?
I'm not Dr. Manhattan. What
it's okay. It's not your fault that you don't remember.
Yeah, we talked about this. You're like, was this before the accident?
I'm sorry. I love you. You're a great father.
Yeah.
You're an amazing husband.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
She's just inching closer and closer, and he's just like, oh,
and you see a hammer in her hand, and he's like, Angela, what's going on? They drugged you. Are you okay?
Mm-hmm. You're not yourself.
Like, he is in full blown, I'm here to help my wife mode.
Yeah.
She just smacks him upside the head.
Yeah, and it's a brutal hit.
It looks like a murder scene. And
she's bad.
And then she continues.
She's got to get into that forehead.
Breaks that skull open, man.
Oh man, like.
She digs in.
She digs in and pulls out this thing, this circle with a tiny little dot that's, I guess, supposed to be reminiscent of hydrogen.
It is the hydrogen symbol that he has on his head.
It's a symbol from his forehead.
Yeah. The hydrogen symbol, yeah. Symbol of life.
Yeah, she pulls out the hydrogen symbol, and then you don't see Manhattan's face.
But you get
the blue glow, a reflection in her eye, and she's like, hey, baby.
Hi, babe.
We're in deep trouble.
Yeah.
Cut.
Yeah, that's, we say mind-blowing a lot, but that's truly mind-blowing.
Because that's not screaming.
So
we were not convinced that Dr. Manhattan was going to be on the show, and now he's maybe.
Did I not say last time that they're gonna reveal Dr. Manhattan the very last second of the episode to pull you into the next two?
Maybe it's possible.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Oh, I said it. I know I said it.
You also thought he was in a courtroom.
He still could be.
I saw that shot you were talking about, by the way, and I don't think he was in a courtroom.
Damn.
But what I did think is that once Joe Keane said we're going to become a blue man, I was like, oh, maybe Dr. Manhattan's just not in this show.
Yeah.
And then there's just going to be like a not as good as Dr. Manhattan blue dude version of Joe Keane going around. That's why Manhattan. I said maybe Dr. Manhattan's just not in the show, which would have also been interesting, but then this happened.
Then this happened.
Yeah. So now we can get to the part where this is the end of the episode. So like the next on episode, we see she
Memories in Saigon.
Memories in Saigon. Yeah, she meets Dr. Manhattan in Vietnam,
wearing a mask of himself.
Wearing a mask of himself, and he's clearly still blue though.
It's another VVN day.
Yeah.
So she's just doing her thing.
Now we don't know how old Angela is or anything like that. Dr. Manhattan is very disconnected from humanity, as we know from the original comic. He also cheated on his wife with a 16-year-old. Which was the original Silk Spectre, Laurie. So, like, his morals aren't always there. So I'm really curious about him coming back to Vietnam and, like, where's his mindset at?
So
he's able to fall in love with this girl.
It seems very much to me like he's... Ideally, I think that the story is about Dr. Manhattan wanting to go back to Vietnam because...
He feels bad.
It's his biggest regret.
Mm-hmm.
And while he's there, he falls for Angela.
Yeah.
Angela having this weird pseudo fixation on him because how can you not when you grow up with that much Dr. Manhattan imagery in your life?
He's like he's a superhero god. Like how can you not love him, right?
Or be fascinated by him even then because like you're being told both narratives that he's a hero and he's the murderer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
her entire life.
Yeah. That's true, yeah.
Yeah, she's so steeped in his world in a weird and very specific perspective, and I think that's what's going to fascinate him about her is how she's grown up in a place that he conquered and the narrative about him.
It's super interesting too that I just had the thought that I lost it. You guys talk. I got to think about it. I had a good thought. Dang it.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be driven a lot by him in a kind of selfish way. Wanting to feel like he's doing something right by someone who comes from there, and if she can love him, that means that maybe what he did wasn't so bad.
Yeah, it is interesting because
there's a lot to dig in there because Dr. Manhattan's complicated.
Yes, he is. But like at the end of Watchmen, he's like, I want to go make my own, create life on my own universe. So it makes me more think of like he went to go create life. So that's what Crookshanks and Phillips might be.
Right.
But again, we're still not sure.
But they didn't come out right.
Yeah. In the next episode preview, we do see that Cal, the actor for Cal, is voicing.
We hear him.
Yeah. Which is awesome. We don't see his face. We might not. Like I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see it.
I'm sure. Like if they're gonna have him a prominent part of these last two episodes, we're gonna eventually have to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think you can.
Now here's
keep
like,
away from it.
John Osterman's a white guy, so are they gonna have him just be a John Osterman white guy? Because it's not Cal.
Well, we don't need to see John anymore.
He's blue.
Because he's blue now.
Oh, that's
like
true,
we never need to see the original white John.
That's true. Yeah,
and
that's
true.
You
can just let the actor who plays Cal be Dr. Manhattan.
Oh,
it doesn't
true,
matter.
No, you're right. He's blue. It's not you make sense.
Which I'm okay. Which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah.
I'm really glad
I have no problem with
Dr. Manhattan. I'm really glad he's Dr. Manhattan.
That's such an awesome reveal. And it just adds another wrinkle to the show.
It'd be weird to me to take the role away from him at this moment.
I know, yeah.
And give it to some white guy who we have no association with playing Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no reason to not let him be it. It's not like he's doing whiteface.
No, yeah, exactly, yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like he's an entirely different being from who John Osterman was anyway.
It's very true.
It shouldn't matter. It's like the Doctor regenerating into a black guy. Like that wouldn't matter. It's the same thing.
And when we say Doctor,
I
we mean
now
Doctor
no
Who.
longer believe that Judd is the person who shot Angela. I believe that was the 7th Cavalry member, and Dr. Manhattan came out and disintegrated him, and that's why they only found one 7th Cavalry member in her place.
Oh, you think so? You think like his Dr. Manhattan instincts took over for a second?
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
That is. Ooh,
okay, I'll buy that.
That is good.
I'll buy that. Oh man,
that does make sense because there were 2 of them.
Yeah, and they said the other one got away, but he might have just been disintegrated.
Right.
Do we?
Because I'm like, why would Judd have attacked her and shot her, and then not and then been who he was to her?
Yeah.
That doesn't really mesh with me. It never did.
But if he is evil, like his wife was evil,
right?
Then it's just doing. He did the 7th Cavalry stuff, and then he I got shot myself too as a cover, like Ozymandias.
Yeah, that's a totally different thing. But I'm saying about him shooting Angela. Because he didn't have to.
No.
And that whole situation, the way that he handles it post that, the way he bonds with her, I'm like, that doesn't have to be Judd anymore. Yeah. Now I can see where Dr. Manhattan, because he's just standing over her when she blacks out, Dr. Manhattan totally could have come out and disintegrated.
Oh yeah, he could Cal could have just looked over, saw Angela about to die. Manhattan comes out for a split second, and goes, boom.
So if Dr. Manhattan... Okay, so this isn't the Zack Snyder, he explodes into 1,000 pieces because there would be gore everywhere. It would just be like he snapped them out of existence. Like a reflex.
Just teleported him up to space and now there's a space body.
Oh my god, we're going to see a random 7th Cavalry guy just floating by Jupiter. That'd be really good.
Yeah, maybe, who knows?
I didn't think about that, okay.
Or just wiped him out of existence because he can do that.
Yeah. I am so excited. I'm so bummed we have 2 episodes left, but I'm so excited for this next episode.
This whole show has been one giant roller coaster ride, and I love it.
And it definitely, it's always been good, but it started less crazy comic book stuff, and every episode slowly builds more and more until we're just like Game of Thrones just turning into a fantasy show. It's like, no, we got Dr. Manhattan, we got portals, and we got nostalgia, and it's like, oh man, this is some sick ass shit.
Yeah.
It's still a comic book show dealing with racism on HBO. I'm just like, this is awesome. This is so good. Yeah. We're blessed. We're blessed.
I mean, just looking up on Twitter, just people just freaking out about even the last title card of HBO.
They turn into a blue.
They turn the
circle.
the O with the Manhattan symbol. I'm like, all right.
I am so very happy with the show, and even
that's the only time they've done it too. Before it was only just the solid yellow that.
They weren't giving it away.
No, they gave it away after the episode came out.
These guys are smart.
Yeah, and the actor playing Cal put up a video on Twitter of him just laughing. Just after the reveal, he's just like, "You guys had no idea," and I'm like, "No, man, we did it."
Well, one guy had an idea.
Who? Oh, Cal?
No, well, not Cal, the other guy.
Oh, okay. Oh, can we talk about Excalibur real quick?
Yes.
That's what I was referring to.
Okay, so, weeks ago, when we saw Laurie Blake's giant dildo, it's called Excalibur, okay? Mm-hmm. What's Cal's name is Cal Abar. And Calabar is the ex of Laurie. So her dildo is Excalibur. It's Excalibur. It's Dr. Manhattan. It was there from the beginning, and we didn't see it.
It was there in episode 3, and we didn't get it.
That's some good shit. I'm still waiting for lettuce. I need to know what the lettuce is about. Damon, call me. Or just text me. I don't care. You don't have to call me. Nobody calls anybody anymore.
And I didn't even know it was called...
That's never answered.
And I didn't even know it was called the Excalibur. I just remember when she pulls it out, there was a poster of Silk Spectre. It's like, Silk Spectre takes Manhattan. It's like, oh, okay, it's a sex toy ad.
Yeah. I got a little scared that they were gonna kill Laurie. I'm glad they didn't kill Laurie.
Yeah.
I'm glad we know Wade's not dead. All my people are safe for now.
Yeah.
Cal's gone, but his real self has emerged.
Yeah.
So everyone's in good shape.
The actor's still there.
I cannot wait until next Sunday
to watch this next episode. The only rip we can today is for Red Scare's car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only thing that really badly happened was to Red Scare's car.
Pretty much.
Insurance will cover it. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, and we still don't know where Will is. I don't know.
I think he might be just prepping for something. I don't know.
I mean, he stood up, so he could be donning his old outfit again.
Oh my god, can you imagine a 105-year-old man? I gotcha!
He's gonna get the jump on the 7th Cavalry before they get the jump on Angela.
Oh, is he gonna come up to save the day, you think? Oh boy. Or is Wade
gonna do
it?
Where was Will? That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Wade is where Laurie is.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. At the compound? That makes sense, yeah.
Because I don't know why Wade would specifically go to where they're after Angela.
Well, just to protect his friend.
I mean, but he doesn't know that they're targeting. He doesn't know that they're after her.
Yeah, true.
He doesn't know that they're after him.
Yeah.
But he does know that where that facility is, where Laurie is.
He
knows how to get back there. He knows that the portal is there.
Yeah.
He knows that the senator is there. So.
I think I imagine because Lady True doesn't want Will anywhere near Angela. Maybe she's just keeping him somewhere. I don't know. Elephant in the room, y'all.
Yeah.
I think this episode was incredible.
Oh, it was.
All these episodes have been incredible. I think that'll wrap it up for this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an awe-inspiring religious experience. That's for sure. Yeah.
I love it.
I really do. Yeah. It was collectively at the end of this episode we were all actually screaming like, "Oh my god!" And when television can really like elicit that kind of emotion, you know it's doing its job.
Especially seeing with the other two who haven't ever read the graphic novel.
Oh yeah,
and they're like.
That's a good quality show. Like it stands on its own, but it also helps if you know the source material.
And then the three of us are like,
and feels completely true to the source material, even now.
Yeah.
I feel like the last time a show. Funny enough, there was an HBO show. It was Game of Thrones. A few seasons
of Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Peak Game of Thrones had me yelling at my television set.
Yeah, the Red Wedding.
Had me like, oh my god, did this actually happen?
Yeah.
And now seeing this on this episode of Watchmen specifically with all these reveals and her knowing it the whole time, I'm just like, damn!
Yeah, because she talks to Will, and like Dr. Manhattan can't be in two places at once, or he can't look like a person or whatever. I'm like, oh, you sneaky devil, you're so sneaky.
Yeah.
When I rewatched this, because I'm buying the season on Blu-ray.
Oh my
Hands
God.
down, I knew I was gonna buy it the second episode came out. After I watched it, I'm like, I'm buying this on Blu-ray. No hand.
What do you guys bet the cool special edition steelbook thing will be? Will it be like a Rorschach journal? Will it be like a Rorschach mask? Will it be? What do you think it'll be?
I'm guessing it's the badge.
You think it'll be
the
a badge with
the blood?
I think that'll be the back, and I think the front will just be a blue hydrogen symbol.
Or that.
That could be good. I like
that.
Okay.
I mean, whatever it is, I'm buying this on Blu-ray, and now after obviously I'm gonna finish watching this. So when I do rewatch it on at home on Blu-ray, I'm just gonna be like, you sneaky bastard!
I cannot wait to check out PDPD tomorrow because they were released the day after. And see what hot goss people have about Dr. Manhattan.
I can't wait for Lube Man to break into the 7th Cavalry place
and
save Laurie.
He's gonna like slide on the floor. Pow! Oh, it's gonna be so good. Fun fact about this episode: I saw Greg Nicotero's name on this episode. He's a very prominent special effects guy. He does all the special effects for The Walking Dead. He did all the the Evil Dead movies with Sam Raimi.
Oh.
But I think he did like Cal's dead head getting
dug into his.
So that's a classic Greg Nicotero special effects right there. That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is exceptional.
Oh man,
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to talk to my friends about this.
What an exceptional year for just comic book adaptations in general, man.
I think this is best show of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially after like I think of like the ending of Game of Thrones, and I'm like, man, like it's so nice to have something be on HBO where it's like
the expectations for Watchmen were so high, and somehow it's exceeded them.
It's better than I possibly could have imagined.
Yeah.
It's so much smarter.
It's like the bar was here, and then the actual show got even higher. I know you can't see it. It's insane. Like the only other show.
I'm really glad that white supremacists can't enjoy it.
Yeah,
me too. Because again, like
I love it. I love that they're upset about it. And I'm like, I'm sorry you can't enjoy cool things.
Yeah. On Twitter, after I saw this episode, I just went to the top posts, and a lot of them were like, "Oh, I hate that the main bad guys are white supremacists," and I'm like, "Well, why?
Why?
What's the problem, bro?
Yeah.
They're bad guys."
Yeah. Like I strongly believe that this show is the best show of the year.
Yeah.
And the only show, and I still haven't seen it, I know I'm behind, but I do want to watch it. The only show that could possibly top it, even though I haven't seen it, but the way that people have talked about the show, is Chernobyl.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
If there's one show that could fight Watchmen for top dog in like this year's television slot, it's probably Chernobyl. And now I haven't seen Chernobyl.
You said it 5 times, and we know. We know. It's okay.
Ben, is it Chernobyl?
I hate. Nope, I'm not doing this again.
It's okay, man.
I'm not doing this again.
Fun fact: the guy who does the Watchmen podcast is the creator of Chernobyl, and he talked to Damon Lindelof. So it's a nice little tie
there we
right
go.
there.
Yeah. But either way, it's either Chernobyl or Watchmen that's going to win the Emmy for Best Show of the Year.
Comic book shows often get, movies and comic book shows often get like the Shaft. And like this is like truly exceptional. Like and like it's honestly barely a comic book show. Like it's just like a really weird detective show.
Do you know what it is?
What?
It's cinema.
Oh, McClunky!
All right, let's
listen to 2 episodes back on our podcast to know where that joke comes from.
Some Star Wars.
All right, we are all members of the Fake Nerd podcast. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts. I don't normally do this twice in a single night.
It's fun.
You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We also have several episodes up here on YouTube, and are always trying to increase the amount that we have here. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And you can listen to us anywhere you'd ever listen to podcasts.
Well,
all
like
that kind
Apple,
of good stuff.
Stitcher, Google Play,
Spotify.
You can check us out on
iHeartRadio.
all the social media things at that same thing, Fake Nerd Podcast. We are doing other Fake Nerds watch shows. We're doing The Mandalorian, which most of the time our friend Brandon is going to be on with us. Our most recent episode for that is coming out this week. We are also working our way up to doing Dark Crystal.
Yep, it is coming.
So that we can continue and finish that.
Dark Crystal's so funny. It will get to it, I promise.
We will.
Yeah.
We do like Dark Crystal. We haven't forgotten about it. It's just other things have popped up.
Watchmen and Mandalorian are ending relatively soon.
Yeah.
So,
and luckily Dark Crystal's still going to be there because Netflix.
Right. Well,
yeah.
I mean, they're all going to be there.
So we also have Basement Arcade coming out.
Yep.
These two are finishing up their Sonic Mania playthrough.
Gotta go fast.
Doing all that kind of fun stuff. You can check all that out here on YouTube. We also have a special talking about Star Wars coming out with the Downright Nerdy podcast here on YouTube very, very soon. And when we do that, we are also announcing a giveaway that you can find on our social medias, and that's going to be this massive Star Wars giveaway. We'll be doing on the week of Rise of Skywalker's release. I think that's everything happening right now. So I'm at SparksWoody on Instagram and Twitter. Ryan?
I'm at DJ Tony Snark and everything.
You can find me at BedMag27 on Instagram and Twitter.
And that'll do it. Go ahead and like and
subscribe,
all that
hit
fun
the
stuff.
bell for the notifications.
All that shit you hate to hear, do it.
Talk to us about all these things. Talk to us about Watchmen because we are nuts about it.
Oh my god! Please talk to us about Watchmen. Please, please, please. We want to know. We want to talk about stuff.
I want to know what love is, and I think it's Watchmen episode 8.
I think it is as well. Did you mean?
Don't you mean?
No, I meant like I'm in love.
Episode?
The next episode will keep giving it to me. Keep giving it to me.
Yes, it's this whole season. All right, that'll do it. Stay fake nerds.
Tickety talk on the clock.